these champions the most because it's a little bit more of a solo queue style where you do need to prioritize your own income more. But I think it's very powerful. So it rounds out the composition very nicely there with the Scion. The Karma comes through on the side of Ezreal Karma to try and make sure they have that bot lane prio.
You know, Darkwings is going to be playing this much slower build. The Roa, a lot less burst, a lot longer to come online, but does give you that additional health and survivability.
It's a good call.
Kind of just how Scion plays. Sentinels, though, first here on the Grubs.
This could be a fight. Castle wants to go
moving
in.
over. DSG gonna go for it. In comes the ulti, in onto the Nico, but the pop blossom pretty good. The fear does land. Nico's gonna get knocked down, but is that going to be enough? Flash away there from Lions on the side as Hombox trying to get something done. Big shockwave across 3, but not a lot of damage behind it. Sentinels just have no consistent DPS in this fight. It's Darkwings on, you know, really
into Karma Ezreal. Like that gank has such a low chance of success. As Calmy just gets some nice poke onto the Orianna.
Send the ultis in. He flashes out, but doesn't get the distance. And now Hombok's in trouble as well here. Good spell shield there from Kryra. As Calmy threatening, Hombok is going to go back in. There's the R2 forward. Hombok now pops the ulti. Huhi's coming over, but Castle has arrived first. The pop blossom comes down, but it is too late. Rahel going to join the fight, but Huhi's gone. Impact's in. Can Impact get a kill back? Looks like he might be able to finish off Calmy, but Calmy flashes away. Impact flashes to follow. Rahel getting some damage down. Castle could be in trouble. Kryra waiting around the edge. Nice follow-up there with the root. They get the shutdown. Now trying to flash out to safety, but he can't quite do it. Rahel in a lot of trouble. Kryra knocks him down. Lions has arrived, and Impact doesn't have the damage to finish them off.
You just can't pass into the river, I feel like, because Kryra will kill you. So should be a pretty easy Drake. He's going for a steal, though. Desperation.
Yeah, can't quite get it away. You can see that Rahel, they're set up really well in the side lanes. You know, Akali and Ambessa both really excel in the side lanes, and we'll see what they can get done, be able to ult back to lane.
The role quest thing actually trolled me there.
Yeah, it does trick you sometimes. But we'll see as he's going to go for an ulti. But
got a minion to
Castle
help.
got out of the aggro, the tower, but in comes the Nico ultimate, trying to actually turn it around, but Castle just flashes out using that public execution plus the flash. Wasn't even a flash, excuse me, just the public execution and a dash to be able to get it to safety, so holds onto the flash. So Castle navigating that really, really well, even with Huhi on the roam. Stays safe, doesn't have to spend a summoner, just trades the ultis, and it's Huhi that actually uses his flash.
Yeah, and Darkwings teleports up to try and match. I mean, they're sending the farm at Castle, and he's still able to clear the wave pretty easily at half health. This also means that Calmy is going to be able to get solo turret gold himself, so both solo lanes and the jungle now with over all the important objectives. They got the Rift Herald as well as the 2 Drakes. They still haven't even expended that Rift Herald. They're probably waiting to see if the 3rd Drake is going to be contested whatsoever, but with this gold deficit, really going to be contesting this Chem Drake in 22 seconds.
Those really well. They forced skirmishes that they then moved quickly too, and were able to create a very big lead as an advantage. It is now all of the outers gone. It's a 5K gold lead at 20 minutes here. And Sentinels are trying to slow down the bleeding, but Soul is up in a couple minutes here, and Sentinels are just going to have to...
3 against Lion was more lopsided of a win for DSG, but that's because Lion was trying desperation plays to get back in it. But this is kind of what League of Legends, as they might get Castle.
A nice little CC chain there as they use the point blank ulti and the deadly flourish to lock up Castle. Castle flashing back. Can he get out? The Q's come back up, but he's flash rooted by Huhi. Is he going to turn around and get a kill? And of course he is in the 1v3, takes one with him. And now in comes the Jet as well as Kryra. The TP going to arrive here from Calmy, but Sentinels have backed it up. It costs them the flash from Huhi.
During this period, they're going to try not to give you bounties, and then they're going to take the soul before eventually going for Baron in the end.
And we can see this play one more time. It's just honestly really nice CC chain. The point blank ultimate into the deadly flourish buys time for that full Q smash from Impact. Then the flash forward for the root. Even with all of that CC chain happening, he still gets the objective now. Kryra just coming out of base. Doesn't have the full money for the GA, but did get his BF. Castle, though, has 3 completed items here. He's monstrously strong, and he is on the side. Has been spotted. In goes Kryra, and they're just looking for the Jhin. The ulti, though, misses. The Pop Blossom counter engage, not too bad. Rahel trying to survive, but he's not going to be able to do it. Darkwings has to flash out. He has no health. Castle falls. Calmy is low, but it's Impact. Hombok trying to make a stand here, trying to get something done. They just don't have the damage. Hombok flashes in, does got one. Darkwing still there behind Impact.
Too little, too late. But you could see Golden Glue thought, hey, maybe this is the time we clutch the game. They got a couple bounties out of it, not to mention this turret. So
just gone again, and that is Kryra, level 16, has the GA completed, and a much shorter ultimate cooldown now with the rank 3. 2-man that Baron. That is not an Azir or a Kaza or anything like that, but meanwhile, Calmy is just pushing bot side. and no one was answering, so does get some more plates off that before Impact can get down and collect that wave.
Really curious how DSG will play out the rest of this game. Currently, they're sitting in a 1-3-1. Another ult
here.
used.
Humbug could be in some trouble. The Fear Tether is there. Castle ult over the wall. Shockwave does not get much done. Lions comes in, and they're going to lock down Humbug, who has no flash. Humbug fighting valiantly, will fall to Castle. It's another kill from DSG. They have no hesitation on this, as almost
a flank engage from the Akali, but they have no ultimates other than Ezreal, so I think it's a little dangerous.
Yeah,
who might play to finish.
Trying to look for an ulti. They're getting it low. Will they be able to finish it off? Pop Blossom across multiple members. Sajed goes out. They secure the Baron. Impact and Huhi in the middle of the pit. They're going to start falling here. Darkwings and Rahel trying to get some damage down, but they're being threatened on the side. And now Impact is just getting focused down by everyone. Flashes over the wall, tries to get out. Kryra going to ult into the backline. He's in onto Rahel. Rahel is feared up. Kryra can't quite finish him off. Now going to get shockwaved away. Rahel's still alive, finally falls. Kryra doesn't even lose his GA as he heals back up with the passive auto. DSG crushing through this game, looking to be completely in form here for the lock-in playoffs.
Looking really good. I'd say Chemsoul did a lot. Speaking a pretty risky strategy, but with Nocturne, able to pick their side.
Yep, going to be going in onto Darkwings, and he is just dead in a hurry. That is the difficulty of playing against that Nocturne in that mid lane. Joins the side lane very easily. Down on the bot side, you can see no one there to answer that wave. As Sentinels were trying to clear out mid, we're trying to respond to the dive top. DSG, though, make the dive cleanly happen. Kryra stays top now. They're going to lose all 3 towers in a hurry.
I mean, this is the best game I've seen DSG play. They're doing so much right, as we might just see him die.
Yeah, Castle
well,
does fall, but they triple inhib them at the same time, very likely. A little bit of health on that mid lane one. The Jhin ulti going to be opening up. Sentinels tried to force the fight here, as they are going to get a nice root. Good catch onto Sajed. He gets burst down. Lions falls as well. There's actually...
They know it's good for him.
It's just, I don't know if they can kill it fast enough. Sajed has respawned. He's running out on the map. Going to try to just burst this down. We'll see if they can make it happen. In comes the engage. Kryra going into the backline onto Rahel. Kryra getting incredibly low, though. The Dragon getting pretty low here as well, as Darkwings is going to get knocked down by Calmy. Calmy as well as Castle just piling into the backline. Huhi is down. Darkwings is down. Sentinels are looking like they are toast. As insult to injury, Kryra even grabs the Elder. They're going to finish him off. They're going to clean up the game. DSG looking like they are marching on the Nexus and going to be able to take a lead here in this best-of-5 series. They will strike first, and they will strike really dominantly here as they knock him down 32 minutes in. Soul, Elder, Baron, 20-8 in the kill score. They did it all, and they made it look good.
They were really just fantasy point maxing, I think, at the end of the day.
And then you have an empowered E. It actually stuns you from Seraphine, but the response of Blitzcrank is really hype.
DSG doesn't care. Like, they do not care what you pick. They will immediately slam whatever, you know.
That, according to Ido, was meant to be kind of built around Kryra, and the idea that Ido really feels strongly, you play through jungle. That is the way to play the game right now. And Castle, he's trying to push for 6, but Impact at 6 first. Castle levels up, hits the ulti, has to flash back to do it. Castle thought he was going to get there first. Rise does have no flash, but in comes the Realm Warp, and that is going to be a freebie, you have to think, for Darkwings. Castle trying to buy time for the abilities to come back, but can he slice and dice out to safety? They are waiting a long time on this. Impact is scared. He doesn't want to get involved because he knows he could get taken out. Rune Prison will grab first blood for Darkwings. Nicely done. Castle overplayed his hand.
And aggression coming ball in, but look.
Lions has no hook, so his hook missed, and that is how the lane looks when you have no hook, is they just walk at you. You are outranged on the Kaza. Huhi, though, has no flash, gonna get flashed on here, and the follow-up knock-up is there. Sajed coming in, they knock him down. Good gank from Kryra. Bahambach is level 6 first. Oh. Flashes forward, ults in. Sajed is locked into this Cataclysm, but Rahel cannot really join. Rahel is just hitting Kryra, and now Hambach on the side is losing the fight. Sajed flashes away.
That's
barely
crazy.
Survives as everything goes pear-shaped.
Is in this game very briefly, but I think Drake is going to be traded for Grubs here, which if you're DSG, you're very happy about. Against the Ashe Seraphine, being able to get the first Drake on your side is huge.
It really is. We saw Golden Glue in that interview talking about how they picked for winning lanes, but things weren't really going that great in the early laning. Castle was kind of outlaning Impact in the first couple levels. He had pressure on him. Huhi got hooked twice, so they kind of lost some pressure there. Darkwings with the role quest giving additional gold to supports. Enchanters just outpace melee supports so heavily when they're on multiple items, and it's much easier to get towards multiple items in competitive games now than it ever really has been, because control wards cost less, you get passive gold, as Impact taking a big trade here against Castle, who will be forced to pop that ult, has his flash, may have to use it as in comes the Realm Warp. Can he even survive? Flash forward there from Hombach with the flash Q. Darkwing's gonna try to finish him off. Drops the turret aggro, barely survives.
Monetarily wasn't worth it in the short term.
Yeah, I completely agree. Hombach gonna get spotted on the ward. They're still waiting around. I don't think he's gonna expect this. Gonna get stunned in. In comes the killer instinct from Sajed. Hombach, remember, he spent his flash in the previous play. Sajed gonna have to cleanse flash out. Nice sidestep on the ulti coming through there from Huhi, but Darkwings is coming on the roam. He's gonna be able to reinforce them pretty quickly. Call Me trying to get there in time to help out. Maybe can throw it on the wall and keep Kyra safe. Looks like he will be able to. Lions has the hook back up, but it's gonna be a whiff as Darkwing's just gonna push forward through this Anivia ulti, gets wall one. You're doing nothing on Blitzcrank. So a lot of pressure on Lions. We'll see if he can make something happen. He's going to get connected onto by that Ash arrow. Has his flash available. Didn't flash anything. Just CC'd down. 100 to 0. In comes Kryra and Call Me. They arrive. Flashing forward there on a Hombach. They're going to try to knock him down. Sajed gets the kill there as Darkwings arrives. Sajed incredibly low. Rahel pushing forward. He's going to fall. Call Me in trouble. Kryra in trouble. He's going to go back in with the Sun. Try to take one with him. But he's rooted up. He's stunned up. Rahel gets a double. And the fight from DSG goes terribly as Rahel gets paid and gets the double buff.
That's the fight that could swing the game for Sentinels. Double buffs all across the board. The Rise ult comes in at just the right time. I mean, Call Me's going to try and move in right here, but this seems rather ambitious by Call Me and Lions.
Yeah, I mean, with what damage are you going to do something here? He's hoping for some sort of a misplay, a miracle steal, but they're going to be able to grab it. No problem at all. Lions did have the hook, but didn't think...
I mean, Sajed is going to be in a position where he's the one who needs to carry. He's got a decent amount of gold on the Kaza, but it's just a really hard game to play right now if he's always flying into the Ashe Seraphine. You can see DSG really want to be able to contest this, but probably realize that it's a losing fight, so... more indecision for sure in this
here, up about 900 gold, even though he's down farm and has the same amount of kills as Rahel, so has been able to cash in on some of those plates. Impact could be in some trouble. There's the stun into the hook. Do they have the damage here from Kryra? Will he Mega out? Huhi flashes in, has the shield to try to protect him, and now Impact's going to be able to go Mega. Castle gets knocked up. He's going to be thrown to the wall. Surely, in comes the ulti there from Huhi. They don't have the damage to finish anyone off just yet. Rahel now arriving. Hombach messes up. Oh, no, okay, I guess that was the Spectator. Kind of went weird on the flag and drag, but does end up knocking him down. Rahel pushing forward. Can they try to turn anything around? Kryra has to flash out. Sajed is in trouble. This is a disaster. Lions is incredibly low. They're corralled under the turret. Call Me comes in. Can they defend the dive? Lions is so
the
low,
Herald.
and they have the Herald. This is going to go down in a hurry. Hombach going to get interrupted, though, by the Anivia wall. Nicely played by Call Me. They still don't have a wave here, as the Anivia may have just bailed them out of this situation. Well done, but on the other side of the map, the Rise is cashing in the top lane.
I mean, it's bad for DSG, but it could have been 1,000 gold 20 minutes in.
Yep, looking good. Darkwing scaling well this game. Going to pop the Ghost early here. Kryra may be able to catch up to him. Does have that smite, but on the other side, it's going to be Lions again getting caught out. They're behind, and when you're behind on Blitz, you are looking useless, and Lions definitely is looking that this game thus far as Huhi, Hombach, and Rahel take him out. A lot of crystals built up there. Call Me trying to get some damage down. In comes the Encore, gonna get flashed by Call Me. Nicely done by him. Kryra arrives. In comes everyone from DSG. Impact on the side, though, is crushing them. Puts the Anivia into the egg, and there's a shutdown onto Rahel. Sajed is just free-firing now. Sajed is starting to pick up a lot of kills, but can Impact and Darkwings make it happen? It's the solo laners here on the side trying to get it done. Impact goes into mini. They're gonna try to back it up. Can Castle get in over onto Darkwings? Slice, dice. The slow does not connect as the phase rush was still proc, but the stun does come through, and now Sajed is going forward. They're trying to knock him down. Do they have the damage? Just barely get the shutdown. Castle gets paid. That was a great fight for DSG.
They're absolute psychopaths. I mean, Call Me seemed like he started that in a 1v4, but this is the sneaky power of both Sajed.
Down. Hombach is in the area. It is getting focused down quick. Ash Arrow will not connect onto Call Me.
Is
able to sidestep it. Impact has Megan already. He's going to go in. It's going to be secured, though, by Kryra on the side. We can see Impact has CC'd up Lions, who goes down in a hurry. The Sun comes across multiple members as they are locked in the Cataclysm. Kryra can't get anything done, but Sajed is going to ult into the side, knocks down Hombach. Call Me trying to duel against Darkwings here.
Flank in that mid lane fight is what actually turned it, and that's
go.
crazy as well.
He goes in very nicely timed ult from Rahel. He just stuns him instantly when he arrives. No one
want to protect his goal lead. Let's see them teleport in. Nars no TP, so it is a temporary 4v4. No jungler, though.
They got to force Castle pops the ulti. They're going forward. They're looking for Rahel. Rahel is going to get actually cleansed out, but he just dies anyway. Darkwings on the side is getting zoned off. Hombach is in some trouble. Sajed ults forward. Darkwings is going to fall. Impact has now arrived. He almost has Mega. Can he make something happen? Does land the stun. The wall up comes through. Jumps in. Stuns up Sajed. Knocks down Sajed. Huhi on the side trying to run from Call Me. Gonna have to
so they're going to slowly move up here as Hombach is now at a quarter health.
Oh, there's the Ash Arrow in on the Castle. They're locking him up in the CC chain. It's just not ending. Castle, even through the Sterix, even through the ulti, just goes down. That CC was never ending. Really beautiful chain between the Ash, the Gnar, the Seraphine, and now they are over onto this Baron. This Seraphine already on 2 completed items, plus the upgraded boots, plus the tier. DSG realized we can't contest this. Hui's going to keep them too healthy. They're going to have to trade for the Dragon.
Yep, 4v5. They have to trade for the Drake as well. That's kind of the worst case scenario, though, when you're slow checking if your Renekton ends up getting one shot. Not enough tenacity to break the CC chain. But Sentinels really have to do something with this Baron power play now because they're giving up Soul Point. Mountain Soul Point, which I think if they complete the Soul, they will end up winning the game. That's 1 tier 2 turret, makes the Baron power play plus 1600. Yeah. Might want to go for some Mercury Treads. I know the steel caps are very good against Ash.
That Sajed can just crush it in the team fights. He's on 4 items, has the Zonias, and has shown his prowess on this Kaza a number of times.
Yeah, spread out, which I feel like if they stay a little bit closer together can be better for Sentinels. Hard to push against Anivia, though.
By both, honestly. Wow. Great side steps across the board as Hui now throwing in the encore. In comes Kryra. He's going to be looking, flashes forward, tries to knock him down, but Kryra's incredibly low and Kryra's going to fall. Sentinels get another kill there as Hombach goes forward. Castle will survive. The hook gets a minion. That's about the best he's done in a while. As Castle trying to threaten, but he just can't. Sajed is outraged. In comes the Mega Gnar. He's going to get stunned up against the wall. Wallop does connect, and now Call Me in a lot of trouble. Going to get Mega Gnar against the wall. He goes into the passive egg. Sajed is focusing down Impact. Can he get the kill? He can, but his mid laner is traded back on the side. Darkwings chasing after Castle. Castle tries to slice over the wall, but fails it. Went too early. Can't get through. Gets knocked down. Now Darkwings with the rise. I'll try to get in onto Sajed. Flash for flash. There's the hook, but can he even win the fight? The tower shot, not enough to knock him down because in comes the Seraphine to keep him safe.
What a fight there by Sentinels. Narrowly, if they get one more kill, they might be able to end the game.
After, but instead he saw an angle, went in, and the CC timing from Sentinels has been so good. He's getting insta-CC'd as he arrives on the Pantheon ult every time.
Might see a fight here, but probably just giving up the turret, hoping for a Mountain Soul fight. Also have, no matter what.
It's going to be the Dragon going over. DSG, of course, it was sitting at Soul Point from that earlier trade of Dragon for Baron, but their attempt at Soul will be delayed. Ash Arrow comes out. Rahel has been wide on most of these. Good side steps by DSG to avoid them. And Lions going to have to see if he can find a way to get an impactful fight. You know, try to get a carry.
To fight.
Yeah, DSG are posturing. Kryra moving forward here. Sajed on the side with him, but they are split up, and Call Me's going to be flashed on there by Hombach. And in comes the encore. The CC is punishing, and in the backline, Impact is sunning up the entire team. They are locked down. They are knocked down. It's a triple already for Darkwings, as he is just destroying them in this fight. Impact picks up another. It was nearly a quadra. Call Me TP's out to safety, but there is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from this Sentinels team.
Darkwings just overpowers DSG in this last fight. He also empowering everyone with the massive support gap in this game too. It's looking like Sentinels is equalizing the series.
Yeah, they are marching on the Nexus. Call Me gonna get rooted up, gonna get locked down. The CC chains just never end. Hui with a fantastic Seraphine game, showing off the power of the pick, and Sentinels coordinating so well on their timing with the CC across multiple fights. They tie up the series. Spicy if you want to go for it. Oh, we're getting Nasus coming out. This is actually pretty hype. So I'm excited to see what the option is going to be from Castle. So sometimes against these ranged top laners, people think, oh, aren't you going to get bullied super hard?
In the meantime, really helps Calmy a lot in that lane, and then still manages to get his own grab.
Huhi is baiting them. Humbug was behind them, and Huhi was walking forward, pretending he did not know that he could get engaged on. Lions hooks in, so he does lose his flash for the exchange. It does mean Humbug has a pretty delayed base, though, and now Hui's going to flash in. Lions has no flash, so Jed trying to keep him alive, but he's not going to be able to do it. You have to think Humbug gets the kill. Kryra has arrived. Can they chase them down?
And Ido as well. That's how draft works for a lot of teams as well. You do a trust fall with your players a lot of the time as some big damage goes down onto Rahel.
Rahel incredibly low. So Jed elects not to flash for it because there was still the barrier available on Rahel, so didn't want to overcommit and die on anything silly. Humbug in the area, so Rahel has that barrier, going to try to barrier bait potentially, see if they can get them to go. So Sejed doing a very good job with that. And they're off to a great start. Also always nice when you can come and reinforce the jungler on some of these dragon takes. And
on this blue, but we might see a brawl first.
Lions has level 6, so does Huhi. Will they actually send it? Daisy getting focused down. It's going to go back in as Sejed going to get jumped on by Humbug, but Humbug does not connect. Now nice the ulti flashes forward. They're committing everything, but on these tankier members, can Kryra survive? No, he cannot. He goes down. Calmy trying to get over here and help them out, but he's zoned off there by Dark. Amount of stacks yet, but it's not the easiest to lane as Nasus in the early levels, and of course as you get more points in the queue, you pick up more CDR, it gets faster and faster and faster, and you can really start to accelerate. So we'll see how he can actually perform.
I think it's just the fact that Wukong is on Triforce, and that's a big way to lose the game as well.
Absolutely, and I mean Castle also really getting Impact quite low. Impact's gonna be able to TP back towards that top side because now they have
that blue buff fight about 7 minutes ago to Humbug, so staying out of the river, really just trying to keep his camps on cooldown.
Sentinels slowly building up this gold lead, and yeah, it's great. You can scale, you can stack, but if you fall too far behind, it's not really gonna matter. And it is closing in on that 2,000 gold lead. Is Calmy getting a pretty nice trade here. The barrier is going to get popped. He actually committed to it, and the Redemption almost finished him off. And now the Senna ult just knocks him down. Rahel did not react, did not flash out. And what I thought was going to be a quick little trade ends up being a kill, and now Castle going to pop the ulti here. Will he ghost for it? Not just yet. Humbug coming in now, going to pop the ghost here, but he is in the 1v2. Can he make it happen? I don't know that he's going to have the damage, but he is getting Impact quite low, slowing him down. One more Q might do it, but he doesn't get there to finish the job. Impact barely. He died on the R cast. He tried to RE. That's what happened. So
yeah, his R's on cooldown now.
Yeah, so he tried to actually RE there, so that's why he didn't flash. He thought he had the time to do it, but now they're actually catching Humbug. If he goes down, that would be punishing, as he has a big bounty. Huhi going to flash over the wall with Humbug, but can they continue the chase? I think they can. Now the TP coming in there from behind, as Nasus is going to be behind them. They're going to try to use the Rift Herald maybe to get out of dodge, but there's the root over on a Humbug. Humbug getting focused down. Castle almost knocks down Huhi, but he's going to get CC'd up. Wukong gets into the Herald. Can all of them get out? It looks like they just might be able to do it. They're trying to finish off with a smite, but they couldn't. Is the double solo laners here from Sentinels going to be pushing up, but at the same time, Castle farming some plates on top side, so Calmy pushed back to base. You have to feel like they probably could have killed him, maybe with that redemption, but not going to be able to do it, unfortunately. And got to be a frustrating moment there for DSG. It looked like they were going to get 1 or 2 kills for sure. Instead, they get none.
And they're also not set up at this Drake again, so it's probably Infernal Drake going over to Sentinels. There's no redemption. They burned a lot of their summoners in that extended fight top lane, but Calmy thinking about going for Dark Wings. They'd be very late on this fight if they decide to engage on it.
Yeah, Calmy missing most of his ability. Yep.
Makes sense to just have a little bit of MR and really delay this game a bit through split pushing. It definitely feels like DSG has been making a few misplays.
Pummeling some of these carries if everything is on them and they're looking for it. Impact, great sidestep there. On the hook from Lions as he was laying in wait, but all of Sentinels are here. All 5 members. Calmy going to try to ult out. In comes the redemption as well as that Senna shield trying to keep him up. Lions flashing back with the lockup, but he's getting knocked down. And there is another kill going their way. The TP arrives, but Castle is just getting focused down. He's in the middle of the entire team. He can't get anything done. Trying to take Humbug with him, but won't be able to do it. 3 for enough Qs out to really do anything. And now Sentinels feels like they are running away with it. Posed to grab this next dragon.
And the fact
just be too slow. There's the root in onto Huhi. Hui's gonna get one shot. The shutdown comes through, but will the fight be won? Impact is getting so much damage down. Castle trying to survive. Gets in on Rahel, but he can't finish him off. Calmy trying to make something happen, but he misses on the Q3. Humbug flashes out, and now it is just Kryra and Sejed, and that is Victor from Arcane. That Arcane Storm was massive as Sentinels survive and win the fight, even without the flash or the ulti on Rahel.
That might have been the last chance for DSG. They finally got their 5v5, but they were probably just a little bit...
Find an angle for an ulti here as Huhi thinking about going, has his flash available. Hombach may have been caught out on the side.
He has no flash.
He's going to be able to clone back. He gets rooted up. Can they actually finish him off? Castle is in there. He's going to try to turn it around, try to finish off Kryra. Kryra's incredibly low. Can he actually survive? In comes the Sen ulti. They do get the kill. Call Me, though, getting focused down on the side. Sajed is not even involved in the fight. Now he's going to arrive as Castle's going for it with the ulti. Does throw the Wither down onto Darkwings. Call Me tries to go back in. Sajed goes forward. There's the flash hook, and it's a massive shutdown. Castle gets it. Finally, DSG come up with a huge pick, and they're going to get Baron very likely off the back of this as well.
I think this is the solo queue slingshot. They're going to be even in gold after this Baron. It all starts with Hombach, no flash. So they see one window, they just all commit to him, burn everything to try and get this Wukong, because if they don't get burst, that's when the heals and shields can really start turning on. Getting that shutdown at the start of the fight means there's not enough damage to one
ahead.
shot.
There's a third item completed for Castle, and even the GA is going to be coming soon for Call Me.
Frozen heart.
Impact does get the tier 2 top, though, and he has the TP advantage, and Call Me doesn't see anyone coming. He's way overpushed. Call Me's just going to die for free, it feels like. Are they even going to try to get out? Uses the ulti, flashes back, goes into Soul Unbound, but who cares? You wasted your flash, your ult. You were always going to die there. Buys a little bit of time for them to get some damage down on this tier 2, but Sentinels played that well. Impact didn't even use his TP, took a tier 2 top.
Versus 5. Impact pushing mid to get a flank angle, but if DSG goes fast, it might work.
I mean, Impact will be behind them. He's going to TP in. Are they going to try to turn on the TP? Can they time the route? They're going for it. They time it well. Can they burst him down? But he comes Hui flashing over the wall. Sajed trying to get some damage down. But everyone, DSG is just getting melted. Hui incredibly low, but the Dragon Soul has been secured. Sajed sent packing, and Castle cannot survive the damage from Rahel.
It hasn't created that much pressure. It ends up getting picked off. We could be one fight away from the game as Hombach has a flank.
Hombach has a great flank in onto Lions. The TPs are going to come in to try to reinforce. Sajed trying to get as much damage down as he can over on a Hui. Lion survives, and then all comes through. In comes Call Me, trying to get Darkwings down. Has to snap back, though he's in a lot of trouble. They get the first kill. It's onto Hombach. And Castle is king. He's king of the castle. He's going forward here, trying to knock down Rahel. Rahel flashes back with the last Q. Gets the shutdown. That's big man on campus. Castle. At the very least, they see him on that ward, so they see him moving up now. And they're trying to hunt out for any sort of flank location. He's going to be TPing in to join the team. The Baron down to about half HP. Call Me looking, does land the knockup onto just Hui.
Baron shred.
Gonna have to snap back, but they're looking to try to just finish this. Sen ult comes over the top. Look at Hombach. He's pushed out. Hombach can't join the fight, so they lose the Baron. There's the root over on a Hui. The hook is going to land on a Darkwing. Darkwing's in a lot of trouble. The first kill goes the way of DSG. Here comes Castle. He's stunned up, but not for long. The CC is going to expire.
Oh my God.
So are Sentinels. It's a triple there for the Senna, and it's Castle crushing through the fight. The ace for DSG, and they just won the game.
When we talk about infinite scaling, apparently it's actually infinite scaling through the Infernal Soul. They just 5v5 start the Baron and then annihilate Sentinels to go up 2-1 in this series. Sajed in the end ends with 7 kills on the Senna, and they're going to go up 2-1 in the series, Azael.
Sajed and Castle, the scaling well and truly online. Nearly 800 stacks on the Nasus, nearly 120 on the Senna. A deathless game for Sajed.
The type of champ you normally think Impact would excel on, and he has to blind pick it into Castle, which makes it a little more difficult. But overall, I love the new picks that we're seeing here in Game 4 of Fearless.
Yep, Zehen will be coming through, as you said. I feel like it kind of plays somewhat similar to...
They can potentially punish this with the Leona.
Going to be able to land the stun, and now comes Darkwings, and Kryra has no passive. Kryra might just be dead. Even if you flash, I don't think you're getting out of this one. That's first blood going to Hombach again.
Top 3, they're going to have to... Even if they win their first lower bracket match, they both have to win in order to face each other just to make it into top 3. So a lot of fun League of Legends coming up in the LCS. We got Saturday, Sunday this week, and then the last 2 weeks are Friday, Saturday, Sunday to conclude these playoffs.
Oh, he's going to get caged in. Hombach is here. There's the Q. Can he get out? It doesn't look like it. Great CC chain from Hombach and their team. So maybe you're feeling stressed from that angle, right? Of like, we got to pick over their team, take all the players we wanted from their team, and now we might lose to the team we stole all the players from.
Good point. Twice, because they lost to them in week 1 as well.
As third, Grub going to be going over the way.
to just a lost chapter, but Kryra's looking in River like he wants to make something happen.
Yeah, Darkwing's pop that goes very early, so wants to threaten with the cage here, but Call Me is behind him. Castle fighting on the top side against Impact. Call Me goes in, the charm does not connect, and now the CC is coming in. He gets burst down in a hurry. Double bubble comes out from Lions as Sajed is pushing forward. Sajed gonna Valk over the wall, gets that kill. Hombok in some trouble. Rahel has arrived. Can they make it happen? They're trying to focus down Hombok, but they don't have the damage. It looks like Hombok still alive. It's a double for Rahel. Kryra ults, flashes out to save.
Call Me tried to be sacrificial for his team, but the burst is so... We can probably win the fight, but they lose the turnaround.
Castle about to get solo killed. That is an Ignite ticking, not a solo kill, excuse me, is who he was.
Who might have been counterpicked and might have fallen pretty far behind, has hit his Trinity Force and is looking very strong. So, you know, too early to call it, but we are definitely... But with Herald being put in mid lane by Sentinels, it seems like it's probably too tough to defend.
Nice timing on the bubble there, does catch Hui, but it means he doesn't bounce back, and he's going to lock down Kryra. Kryra, great timing on the W, though, absorbs so much of that MF damage, helps to keep him alive, but Mundo with no ulti is kind of useless. Impact trying to stack up the Cultivation of War, does use his ult. Castle still has his. Maybe that's the edge that lets them fight.
I think it's actually the edge that lets Ahri get some plates. So overall, that would be good. They're going to give up the Drake, but at least they're trading it for something on the other side. Call Me getting some plates. Castle actually is spotted by Darkwings. Might end up falling here.
Ooh, good counter-strike. Block the flash Q from Hui. The stun does not land, and Darkwings can't finish him off. So, yeah, they do lose the Dragon. They get some plates on the top side. Are going to actually finish off that turret, so that is really nice for them. And we're able to push in that mid-wave, so deny a couple minions. But still, it's a 3.4K gold lead. It's Impact going bot to grab a couple more plates. Nearly 4,000, as it does kind of slingshot back and forth based on the camps and minions getting picked up.
Yeah, and Impact also looking to be able to clean out this bot lane turret, thanks in part to the really delayed recall from Castle. So, nice plate sequence by Sentinels, dropping the Herald mid, clear out space, clear mid turret. It's definitely for the old school players, you know, Deathfire Grasp reimagined, rather than having to press DFG on the player. You just get to press it and have DFG on everyone.
And DSG is pushing forward here, trying to come back. Kryra does tag Rahel, who is put quite low. Doesn't want to commit anything more. And Rahel will be put low, but has the BT. And we'll just go heal up off the Wolves as Darkwings takes down that tower up on the top side. Again, Hui just utilizing the pressure that he has, you know, really moving around the map so well. Lions on the Nami obviously don't have that same ability. Sajed gonna get Q flash. Whoa. Beautiful combo coming through. Can they finish him off? Not just yet. Kryra is there as well. The cage gonna come out defensively, does keep Hombok safe, and now Kryra gonna get locked down. Kryra does have the ulti, but it's gonna be too late. Can't even get it off. Sentinels. No. Yeah, Call Me in the area. Lions here. They know they have to try something. Call Me's gonna go in, does land the charm, but it's just on Impact. And he has to flash right back out. Castle going in, 4-man counter-strike. Can he make something happen? The bubble comes through. Rahel is going to be shut down there by the Ahri. Call Me on the run here, trying to get away. Charm going to be sidestep. Hombok is coming in behind him. He's going to go for the TP out. Can he get there? That was so close. Looks like he survives unless he burns down to the red buff, but he's going to get out. Nicely played there by Call Me as DSG solo laners making a game-saving play.
Wow.
That went from 5K to it's still in. Castle has that TP shield. Will they try to force a fight with it? The Grim Return going to miss there from Impact as some good poke coming out from DSG. The Corki's been landing some damage onto Darkwings as well as Hui, who has been chipped down a little bit. Castle going to be forced to use that Counter-Strike defensively, and that TP shield from the role quest will be expiring here pretty darn soon. Kryra as well as Sajed just trying to chip away, trying to get them low before the fight would break out.
Pretty good poke just from Mundo Cleavers. They have the sustain advantage with the Nami, so Castle's hoping that Sentinels try and push a little too far through, and then he can get a flank engage, but Impact doing a good job holding that bush.
Yeah, and they've lost control of the mid wave, so DSG has to now wait. They got to be careful there, too far forward. Yep. And now comes Hombok going in on the engage, a bullet time over the top, and he's surely going to fall. Lives for a while. Castle trying to turn around, Sajed trying to get involved, but he's going to be exhausted, and he's got to run for it. Castle's going to get knocked down as Hombok goes on a rampage. Sentinels crush the fight. DSG were way overextended. Your Corki's on the mid wave, and they didn't back up.
Absolutely. Sentinel's very coordinated, but that is basic stuff. Where Call Me...
The Ahri back into the cage, but that goes the other way as well, and now it is going to be Impact knocking down a tower here. 5.7K, the gold lead. DSG does have some scaling, but They have been stalled quite a lot here. Impact potentially going to get run down, trying to turn around, maybe look to stack this up. He's going to go for a TP play himself, but this one is not going to work. Tries to DPS champion, but does have a Void Staff already completed, and means the death cap is going to be pretty delayed. Hombach going to be looking for a pick, and there is Call Me. Now you see him, now you don't. He is knocked down in the hurry. Castle, though, trying to come in on the flank, tries to get in onto Hombach. Hombach interrupts the leap strike. Castle incredibly low, but still alive for now. Sajed going to flash forward, but he can't find the rocket under a hell. Impact finds the Grim Return onto Sajed, and it is everyone from DSG falling. They are going down like fish in a barrel. Darkwings gets a double. Kryra is running away. DSG try to look for a play after their mid laner gets picked, but they just can't make it happen.
And Sentinels just have absolute tunnel vision onto Call Me. Every time he's on their screen, they're finding a new way to kill him. They just one-shot him at the start.
Massive with the strut, the additional move speed, hugs the wall, gets out, and Hombach now nearly a 2,000 gold lead. Both his carries on the bot side have an over 2,000 gold lead. And he has the GA, so he can kind of just full send it on Sajed, who feels like really the only kind of consistent damage threat that they have whatsoever at this point. Impact just kind of running things in the side lane at this point is level 16, and DSG are really falling out of this one, now down about 9,000 gold. Feels like it's about time to start thinking about Game 5.
Absolutely, that's likely what Ido is thinking about in the back. How is he going to prep Game 5 draft in this Fearless? Because Call Me is half dead again already. One big RW.
Yeah, but he got put down to about 20-30% before the heal from the Nami came through. And that wasn't even a big RR or anything like that. Was the activation of the actualizer. But is looking for that death cap now. Now the TP going to come out here from Castle. Can he find an angle? He's spotted already. Lion's going to try to look for the engage with the Nami wave. Doesn't really find anything. He's going to get in under a hell. Can they knock him down? Great McHale's, but it doesn't matter as Calmy's going to be able to get the first kill on the other side, though. Sajed falls. Calmy's trying to run here from Impact. Darkwings, Impact, as well as Hombach looking for the fight. Hombach is low, but still has the GA, and now the Cultivation of War is stacked up. Impact is going to be fearless, has that revive ready. Won't need it, though. Going to be able to push in, looking for one-shots. And then you have Mountain Soul on top of that. With the 10,000 gold lead, it gets almost impossible. You have to think to be able to find a way back into this game.
Leona to be able to get in range to ult them with two waves of supers moving in. They're trying to play on this bottom cannon. I think they're strong enough to try and do this without Baron.
Oh, yeah. Darkwings just TP'd back with the death cap. And the actualizer is ready, so we'll see if he can get a one-shot. If he can set that up, would definitely be able to burst someone down in a hurry.
Yeah, 1,044 AP and an actualizer, so come on, Darkwings, let's see it.
That's like a QR one-shot from full, pretty much. But we are going to have that Mundo passive, keeping Kryra safe thus far. But now you have been triple inhibbed, and the walls are closing in. We'll see if DSG can find a fight to delay the game a little bit. There's the cage coming through. Calmy going to look, does find the charm, but it is just onto Hui. Bubble's there to follow, but really, who cares? That's just the Leona you've landed your damage on, and Castle now getting chunked down there by Impact. The minions coming in, they're going to go for it. Here is the bullet time across multiple members. Castle's in the back line, but Rahel has the barrier. It's a double kill already for the Veigar. How much more can they get?
Oh, let's get a penta.
Flashing back. It's a triple for the Veigar. The bot lane's in the base. Darkwings is not going to get a penta, but he is going to help to send us to Game 5 with an 8-0-8 Veigar. Tristana, it gives you double AD threat against the Gallia, who wants to be kind of anti-MR, and it's going to be Sejuani to give them their hard engage. So Sejuani, we are assuming going to be in the jungle, and Rumble top. Hui going to be able to grab another engage champ. I feel like Sen just has an easier... So Hombach, I think, is waiting for Impact and seeing, can I get over there for a smite steal? Hui has now arrived as well, as nice sidestep there from Lions. Will be able to go over the wall, but Kryra in some trouble. They're going to just continue the chase here. Will Impact flash forward? He uses the taunt. Can't really catch too much, but does get the Bard, and Lions now flashing out. Not going to be able to get away. First blood, grabbed by Dark. Then Impact was not getting punished more heavily than that, eventually caught up.
Yeah, Impact has been incredibly solid. Also, based off of the shenanigans that happened to Cromp, seems like a pretty easy Drake by Hombach.
Scaling items. So these matchups where you're getting poked become very, very difficult because Trist only trades by going aggressive. And when you jump in, you get feared and you just get hit by ulti. It is really, really tough. And in my experience, these matchups
matter almost ever for the top laners. All the plays are happening through mid-bot at the moment, and that's where Darkwings is pushing in Calmy, and another engage on Lions.
Yeah, Lions going to be trying to get out of there. Flashes away, but Hombach just flashes over the Tempered Fate, finishes him off. Lions, and a lot of it, I feel like, yeah, you know, it's one of these things where it's just kind of snowballing off of the earlier play, right? But great engage here. Can they actually knock down Hambak? Let's see. Sajed going to be turned around on, is in some trouble, going to get knocked down, pops the ulti. Sajed has to use the heal and does have the spell shield come back up. The ulti from Hambak will expire, but he dashes back in, gets the flash force. Hambak almost gets him with the win, becomes lightning, and Kryra takes the kill. So Sajed has to use scouting everything out. They're not worried at all.
Yeah, still really impressed with Hambak and just the overall synergy from Sentinels in this Game 5. It's been such a hard-fought series to this point. Definitely a few mistakes being made in previous games, but in this one, the overplay has.
I love it.
So Sentinels definitely making this draft look very effortless in its execution, knowing that there's just that one bit of hard engage, and he can't get rid of them. So now, even with no ult, oh, Darkwings fails flash.
Darkwings, oh no, he did fail his flash, going over the wall, tried to get over, but doesn't get to try to knock him down.
I think this is going to be mid-turret, which will open up the map even more. The gold is very close, especially after that shutdown went for Darkwings, but I feel like there's a lot of standing gold that Sentinels is going to want to collect.
So he is back in his home, in between the two towers. Now abusing Castle, but he's taking a lot of damage this time as he does get hit by a binding. Castle going to overheat, trying to move forward here, going to be thrown into the exhaust. Nice sidestep on the Verisalt though. Rahel trying to turn things around. Kryra is here. They won't. And he is playing against an MR stacking Galio, right?
Yeah.
Like this is a first full item of magic resist. They do throw down the Bard ulti. Can they look for a play? But all of Sentinels are coming. This is looking not good. Call Me should be able to knock down the tower, but can he actually get out of dodge? Does have the rocket jump, but that is not going to keep him safe. Knocks down the tower, but it'll cost him his life. Unfortunately for Sentinels, who he grabs the time in the fight, where I don't know if DSG can get past the Zen. So I think that's really the question here is can they set up Sajed as well as Call Me to have a successful fight? As they're going to go for the engage. The equalizer will get thrown down, but I mean, it's come up, right? You know, we're seeing a lot of young players on FlyQuest. We're seeing guys like Kryra, like Kizno, like Sajed, all looking really strong as Ui playing this very aggressively. In comes Impact from behind, and Lions could be in some trouble, but is able to use the magical journey to get back to safety. But Call Me is now cut off from the rest of his team, and Impact is going to be able to tank this one up. Call Me flashes back. Good Bard ult to buy a bit of time. And now Darkwing get caught under the tower by a Kryra ultimate. Nice turnaround there. The resets could be coming through. Do they want to jump in on this? Sajed arrives. They're going to try to chase down Impact, who has no flash. Rahel in position, going to try to look for a turn. The equalizer comes through, and Castle flashes over. He has the overheat there. Trying to knock down Rahel. Doesn't quite have the damage, but they do get a couple kills. Do they have the confidence to go for the Baron? They're going to make the call to try to do it. Call Me is basing. His TP still on cooldown though, unless the Spectator client is wrong. And Castle may have just gone too far. Castle now is zoned off by himself. He wanted to chase. The rest of his team wanted Baron. And now that miscommunication may really cost them. Call Me is back, but oh man, Castle chased way too far. The rest of the team wanted to go get towards IE for both of their carries. That would be huge, but Call Me gonna be able to rocket jump to safety, will be pushed back, and it means that tower top should fall. Of course, they're not going to have the IE for this next fight, and that is going to be the soul fight. So this is the 1v4 right now until Call Me arrives, and Call Me might be spotted soon. Sentinels trying to posture aggressively with that extra man. Now Call Me shows Castle on the side is in a lot of trouble. He has no flash from the previous fight, drops the equalizer, but he could be in trouble. Kryra over the wall catches the ulti onto Rahel, but it's Castle that's down. The ulti comes through from Lions, but it gets him nothing. Sajed is going to try to flash into the magical journey, but it expires. Sajed is going to fall. Sentinels win the fight. They want more, and they're going to get it. And now Kryra.
Too early. It's a total disaster there as DSG lose 3 and the soul.
And that's Mountain Soul. This is going to make things a lot.
Make sure their waves are pushed up. Make sure they're approaching with vision. And they should be able to close this one out.
I mean, they keep canceling their recalls. They could get spotted. Can they approach?
Yeah, it's so hard for them to approach. Rahel hitting it now. Shreds it almost instantly.
Okay, well, he's going to spot it now. So now they know for sure. They're going to TP the Tristana back out.
I mean, Kryra would just have to blind flash in. If they can get any vision over top.
They're going to delay with the Bard ult. Can Kryra get in and try to steal his way? Call Me's on the side fighting against Darkwings as well as Huhi. Kryra, does he go? Nice binding comes through. The equalizer's on no one at all from Castle. Hambak goes forward, but Hambak's just going to get burst down. He's shut down by Castle. In comes the Galio ultimate, but it's not timed correctly. Castle flashes and magical journeys back out the safe.
So they're back at the Baron.
This is scary though. If you're in the pit against the equalizer here, Castle is very, very strong. Sajed going to get spotted over the wall, but does have a spell shield. Call Me is pushing mid lane here, so he's going to be trying to continue that. Rahel coming to respond now, and Calmy's gonna have to be careful because he's separated from the team.
Yeah, I don't think Calmy can get through, and Hallmark also doesn't really take damage from the Baron, so they're really just hoping DSG commits in, and then they can get their fight.
Castle is moving over to try to regroup with Calmy, but now potentially Sentinels could engage to the other side. Some poke coming through onto Kryra. The Baron's getting low. There's the equalizer across multiple members, and the ulti from Kryra. It's going to be cleansed off, though, by who he is. Kryra's incredibly low. Lions flashes back, as well as the flash from Sajed, but Sajed falls to Rahel. It's up to Castle and Calmy. They're going to try to get something done here on the side, but they get no kills at all. They lose their bot lane, and it feels like they're about to lose so much more.
Can just go right back onto the Baron. It is a 3v5.
Kryra's in a lot of trouble. He's got a flash, and over on the other side, Calmy's going in. They're going to try to win the fight on the side, and they're going to get Rahel. He burns down. That is a massive shutdown, as Hambach was trying to go for a kill on one side. Calmy going to get spotted out. Can he make a great escape? He cannot. He falls. But without the Varus, this is so much harder to do. Castle's got to try to stay alive, though. He gets caught on the recall briefly there. Overheats, trying to go in on the Huhi, but surely has no damage to finish him off. And Impact is not going to go down. They're delaying the death. They're just delaying the death.
Yeah, because Elder is going to be up in 34 seconds, and now he's dead for 20 seconds after Elder, and 5 will likely be alive for this Baron. So Sentinels really on top of the death timers, even if the game is crazy. The start of that fight, Huhi did incredible to peel the backside of the fight. Kryra's sticking around for some miracle steal, but it's looking tough. This will be Baron and probably Elder as well. It depends how long it takes Sentinels to reset and go down for the Elder.
Yeah, it's still 30 seconds until Castle respawns here. They're going to be able to have the Baron buff on all 5 for Sentinels, so instant reset
TP and deep, but they'd have to get onto the carry. So Rahel's no flash. He might be a target if they can find him.
They are split once more. Do they have eyes on Castle? Kryra getting chunked down once again. He's down 2 levels, remember, here, and is not very tanky. Calmy and Sajed, it's really all about them and Castle. Castle on the side, they're going to try to go for it here. In comes the equalizer, but it's at the same time as the Bard ult, it cancels everything. Sajed is going to be charmed up, he's going to be taunted up, Castle's in trouble.
They still kill Darkwings.
Sajed is gone. They do get Darkwings. Calmy's going to jump in, but he just gets knocked up and he gets knocked down. That Bard ult was playing for the other team. Sentinels crush the fight. We'll see how much more they can get, but the anti-timing there from Lions as it immunes the equalizer damage, immunes the Sejuani ulti, and Sentinels are marching on the Nexus.
That's probably the game. Just a series of unfortunate events for Lions' Bard this game. He hit one nice one in the top lane, but had several go in the wrong direction. 4 alive, Castle the only defender. This is probably the series, Azael.
This is definitely looking like the series. Impact tanking up the towers. Castle can do nothing. Sentinels were pushed, but they did not break. They take down DSG. They qualify.